Hi, it's Camilla from the Sewing Society, and in this video I'm going to show you how to shorten a t-shirt. So I've got this t-shirt that is perfectly fine the way that it is, but I'd really like to make it a bit shorter because I am quite short in the torso. Things like t-shirts are usually quite long on me, and especially so if I get a unisex t-shirt because they're usually longer for guys, and I like a shorter length t-shirt anyway. I think that it suits me a little bit better. So it's really easy to make these adjustments, and I'm going to show you how to do it. This is a t-shirt that I've done the same technique to. It was really long, and because it is a unisex t-shirt, once I chopped off what I didn't want anymore, I had enough fabric to add a little extra ruffle, which is cute, but you don't obviously need to do that. It was just because I had some extra and I thought, why not? I'm going to use this t-shirt as a guide for this one and the measurements that I want to take from this and apply it to this. So grab one of your favorite t-shirts that you like the cut of and the length of, and a t-shirt that you want to adjust, and we'll get started. For this project, you'll need a t-shirt that you'd like to take up, some scissors, a marking tool, a measuring tape or ruler, some pins, and a twin needle for your sewing machine. Lie the t-shirt out that you want to take up. Make sure that it's nice and flat with no bumps. Then take the t-shirt that you're measuring it up with and place that on top, and line up the shoulders and also the side seams from the underarm. Now measure the amount that you'd like to take off the bottom of your t-shirt. So mine needed to be shortened by 14 centimeters, but we need to leave some fabric for hemming. So I'm allowing 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch. So in my case, I'm going to cut at the 12 centimeter point. I'm just going to make a few marks all along the t-shirt and then cut along that line. Make sure your t-shirt is all nicely lined up and the hem is matching and everything is nice and flat. Now I'm going to cut through both layers of the t-shirt at once. Now turn your t-shirt inside out and we're going to mark up the hem. This part is really important that we measure it accurately, because when we go to the sewing machine and use the twin needle, you have to do it with the right side facing up. So you're kind of sewing a little bit blind in that you won't be able to see where the hem is. You have to just go by the measurement. Pin it all in place, making sure the side seams line up, and then give it a good press. Now I'm going to show you how to use the twin needle. The twin needle is such a great one to have in your kit and is really worth the effort when you're taking up your t-shirt. They come in different sizes. This one is a 4mm twin needle. You can get smaller ones and bigger ones. This is sort of in between. So to start, swap out your regular needle for the twin needle. and you'll need an extra spool of thread that goes on the top. And you'll thread the two spools together at the same time through the regular pattern on the machine. And then when you get to the needle, split the two threads, and one goes in one needle and the other thread goes in the other needle. And that's all there is to it. You don't need to change the stitch on your settings, just a straight stitch and at a regular length of between 2.5 and 3. I'm going to just do a little test sample to make sure that I'm happy with how everything's working. So how it works is the two threads on top get connected with the bobbin stitch underneath that makes a zigzag on the underside. And that's why we have to stitch it the right side facing up on the machine, because the wrong side of the stitch is underneath. To start stitching, with your t-shirt right side facing up and out, line your hem up with the 2 centimeter mark on the foot plate or the 3/4 of an inch mark, and that will guide you so that it catches the underside of the hem. Using a twin needle gives your t-shirt that look that it would have if it was made with a cover stitch machine, which is a whole separate piece of machinery that just does this kind of stitch on the bottom of t-shirt hems and sleeve hems. You can get them, they're quite expensive, and I find this method, it really does the job nicely without the extra equipment. Now give your hem a really good press. And look how nice! You can see the 2 lines of top stitching, and the zigzag has caught just at the hem turnover, which is great, and it looks really nice and neat. If you don't have a twin needle and want to have a go at taking up your t-shirts, there are other stitches on your machine that still do a really nice job. On my machine, letter D looks really nice. It's like a cross-hatch kind of stitch and has a really nice finish to it. And the other stretch stitches on your machine will also look quite nice. It's just a matter of going through and doing some test runs and seeing which ones you like the look of. Once you've chosen the stitch you like, the machine will do all of the settings for you automatically. So you just have to go ahead and stitch. If you also want to shorten your sleeves, use the exact same method that we just used for the hem. With my t-shirt, the sleeves weren't too long and there wasn't really enough fabric to cut away, so I decided to just roll up the hem and make like a little cuff. I just hand stitched it at the underarm and also at the top where it would line up with the shoulder. If your sleeves are long, just measure it up against the t-shirt that you are going off as a guide so that you get a length that you're happy with. Now do the exact same thing to the other sleeve, and then when you're done, give everything a really nice press. Now, if you'd like to add the ruffle to your t-shirt, all you'll need is the leftover piece that you've cut away from the bottom of your t-shirt. You'll need to have a leftover piece that is about 16 centimeters wide, or approximately 6 inches. Then cut up one of the side seams, so you've got one long strip, and then cut that strip into 2 so that you've got 2 long strips approximately 8 centimeters wide, or 3¼ inches. After gathering up your ruffle, top stitch it in place using the seam of the sleeve as a guide. I didn't finish off the raw edges because it's not going to fray, but you can finish it off if you like. So there we go. A really simple and easy way to shorten your t-shirts and finish them off in a way that still looks really professional. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you give this a go. Please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.